After Alexander Isak's incredibly insane social media post that lit up X, Twitter, Facebook, all this stuff, what is the path now for Liverpool to actually sign their number one striker target? I've got 5 points on the pathway to Isak and how Liverpool can secure their man before the end of the summer. All right, number 1. Newcastle must sign their replacement. I really do think this is the kind of linchpin for Newcastle. They need a striker. They've already gotten rid of 1 or 2 of their other guys that kind of were fringe that would come in and replace Isak last season when he was injured, and now they're just without a starting striker. So they must sign Wissa for 45 million. I think what it would take to get him from Brentford. I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, Newcastle. I just don't think they're going to sell unless they have a replacement in. And I think ideally they would want to get 2 replacements. Maybe they can get Wissa, and then maybe they can sign a younger player who can kind of be the understudy. So I think that has to happen first. Now, what's number 2? Well, I do think Alexander Isak is going to need to hand in that transfer request. The social media post that he put onto Instagram, 48 hours ago, or 24 hours ago, that was a big statement. It was a big step, but I think he's going to need to make it an official transfer request to force the move more than ever. And as we get day by day closer to that end of the transfer window, I think Isak is going to need to put additional pressure on if he's not feeling like anything is moving. Number 3, Liverpool are simply going to have to come in with big bags of cash. Richard Hughes probably will need to toss a £135 million offer at Newcastle, which is insane and by far a record fee in England. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, I think from the Newcastle perspective, if you were to make a sale, record British transfer fee, I think that actually looks good on your club. That means you are producing talent. You are finding talent, you are grooming talent, and you are producing massive world-class stars at your club who then get to go and leave for massive amounts of money, record amounts of money, to, I'll just say it, bigger clubs in England, clubs that, I'll just say it nicely, clubs that have won more trophies in England, okay? I'm not trying to throw shade at Newcastle, right? I'm really not, because Liverpool have been in this position before. We were in this position for years, where our best players were being targeted by Barcelona, Real Madrid, etc. Now Liverpool are in that spot where players want to come to them, and my concession to Newcastle and your fans is look at what it did for Liverpool. Look at what that Coutinho money did for Liverpool. It allowed us to bring in Van Dijk and Alisson, 2 players which have been absolutely critical to all the success we've had over the last 6 to 7 years. So to secure a 135 million pounds for one player, that could do wonders for your team in the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And Liverpool are still currently benefiting from that, with Alisson and Van Dijk still being massive parts of this squad. So that's my pitch to Newcastle is let him go, bring in the record transfer fee, and reinvest it wisely, and you guys will be just fine. I think also step 4 on the path is Liverpool and Newcastle. The match has to happen. It's going to happen on Monday. I think everyone needs to get through that game, so there's no fear of Liverpool bringing Isak on at St. James's Park in an Adidas red Liverpool shirt. I think there might be a little bit of mental fear there of that potentially happening if the transfer happens before that game. So because that's so early on in the season, I think Newcastle will not let him go before that match. And whatever, I don't blame him. Why not hold out as long as you can if you know that transfer fee is probably not going down. So I think that has to happen first, and we have to get past that because it's going to be a very, very intense game. And then finally, Newcastle just need to say yes. They need to accept and rebuild. For that record transfer fee, you bring that cash in. It is such a healthy injection of cash for a team that obviously has rich owners, but does need an investment like that and a sale like that to bring them back into PSR compliance. And it'll just allow them to do more in the future. So those 5 steps, I think, are the pathway to Isak. I really do believe this is going to happen because there's just too much noise. There's too much pressure being put on by Isak to Newcastle. And I think it's going to happen because how do you repair this relationship now that Isak has come out publicly? So I do think it's going to happen. And I'd love to know what you think. Get your comments in below. And as always, up the Reds.